Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Evolving Women. I'm Teresa Lisum, and I am here with my amazing guest co-host, Yvonne Marchese. Hi, Yvonne. Welcome. So
Hey,
glad you're here. I just want to dig right in because I can't wait to hear about how you're an age agitator and you promote aging playfully. So to me, that's almost like two contrasting concepts, agitating and playing. So please, I'd love for you to explain that. And we'll start
age
there.
agitating is way more fun than it sounds like.
So they do go together.
They absolutely go together.
So please share more.
Oh my goodness. Well, so I am an age agitator. I call myself a play instigator. I'm a believer
Instigator.
in do-overs. And basically, I realized in my late 40s as I was approaching 50 that I had an aha moment. It led me to start this morning routine. I started feeling better than I'd felt in a decade. And when I started feeling better, I started getting kind of curious about my next 20 or 30 years and kind of
Mm-hmm.
going, ooh, I wonder, wow, if I feel better now, maybe I'll feel better. Who knows? Maybe I'll feel good in 20 years. Maybe I'll feel good in 30 years. I don't know. And that's when I realized that I had not been thinking that way before that. I had been
Mm.
thinking all downhill, all the things that society is always telling us aging is. And I, it was a major aha for me at that moment that I call it stinking thinking around aging that I didn't even know I was doing to myself.
Yes, yes.
Misplace my keys. Oh, I'm having a senior
Mm-hmm.
moment, all that stuff. And so when I started to get more hopeful about my future, I started to also get curious about whether or not maybe other people were feeling the same way I was before, like feeling like it was all downhill, feeling like they were stuck and there was nowhere to go from here. And that's kind of the age agitator idea is to
Mm.
agitate the ideas that we have been fed over time ad nauseum everywhere. If you listen to any conversation with friends, if you pay attention to advertising, we are steeped in this
Yes,
idea that
yes.
aging is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, the agitator setting on the washer where it agitates out all the dirt and everything?
Mm-hmm.
That's age
Ooh,
agitating.
love that.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. So you're agitating, mixing up, poking at those stereotypes, those
Yeah.
age stereotypes that, like you said, we all buy into without even realizing it.
Yeah, it's like the fish swimming in water that it's just what's water?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you just take it for granted. And
Right.
I don't know about you, but I can't go to a dinner party or any kind of an event these days without hearing the ageism in
Oh my
people's
gosh.
comments
Oh,
all the time.
I totally understand that. I was going to a few lunches with some retired teachers. I'm a retired teacher, and I had to stop going because all they did was complain about their health issues.
I know, and I don't want to be that person that's like,
Right,
oh, well,
right,
that's ageism. But here's the
right.
thing, it that ageism that we have grown up with it becomes internalized as we get
Hmm.
older. We looked when I was in my 20s, I'd look at somebody older and be like, "Wow, they're old." And sometimes I'd be inspired by an older person and be like, "I want to be like that when I'm older."
Yeah, yeah.
But more often than not, I was looking at examples of aging and I was terribly afraid of it. I've
Hmm.
always been more afraid of aging than dying.
Mm.
And yeah. So when we have that idea of aging in our brain, and all of a sudden we look in the mirror and we start see it happening to us,
Yeah.
that starts to become really self-referential. I mean, Becca Levy and a bunch of other people have done great work around this idea of internalized ageism, and it it affects our health, it affects our happiness, And so these days, I'm leaning into curiosity and playfulness as a way to access joy at any age. And I don't think we play enough. I'm just going to say that out loud.
I totally agree.
I really don't. And I'm guilty too. This is a personal experiment for me
Mm,
to lean into playfulness because I tend to be a person who grinds. Even
mm.
though I'm doing work I love as a photographer and as a podcaster, I'm still like the worst boss in the world, Teresa. I'm like, "Whoosh, work, girl, work. Whoosh." And it's like, then I start to do something or I launch something and I'm so gripped about it, you know? And
Yes.
it's like, how can I work playfully? Because the
Mm-hmm.
opposite of work isn't
Mm-hmm.
play and work are not opposites,
Right, right.
but we think they
We
are.
think they are, yeah. And we're fed those messages. You know,
Hmm.
if you're not grinding, if you're not producing, if you're not busy, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
as we get older, if you retire, let's say, then we fall into the trap of, oh, well, I don't matter now, or what
yes.
I'm doing
Yes.
doesn't matter because I'm no longer that thing I was. And so we tie all of our self-worth and value into our productivity.
Yes, for
And I
sure.
think we've really got to handle that. We got to lean into changing that
Oh,
and lean
heck yeah.
into letting that young person in that little guy, that little girl, whatever, like let them explore. Let them find out what's next.
I love that. Like we're going back to that mentality of kids who are exploring and discovering and coming into things with a fresh eye and a childlike mind. So I love that you're advocating to go back to that.
Yeah, well, we're wired to play as humans, especially as babies and toddlers and kids. Play comes so naturally to us, and
Oh,
that's how
yeah.
we learned. That's how we
Yes.
learned how to walk. That's how we learned how to talk and do everything was through play and exploration and curiosity. And
Mm,
then our well-meaning adults in our lives started to say,
yes.
you need to be productive, and we started to
Hmm.
shed all that curiosity and all that playfulness to
Right.
do, go, go,
Yep.
go.
Yep. I remember being, I don't know, a teen, probably a teen. And I was like, I did not want to become an adult because it just did not look fun. You know, it was just too much seriousness, too much, like you said, do, be productive. And like, I just remember thinking that, like, I don't want to grow up, which is opposite what some, when you're in the kid stage, you can't wait to grow up. I know I have a granddaughter
That was
right.
me. I was
Yeah.
ready to grow. I was like, ooh, I can't wait
Well,
to be
that's
an
I
adult, you
yeah, I
know?
have my oldest granddaughter's like that. Like and I'm like, "No, really, hold on to your childhood as long as possible because you don't get back there and it's really only a sliver of our entire lifespan. When you look at it, it's just a little fraction of, 80, 90, 100-year lifespan. That's my goal is to get up to 100, but oh my gosh, you talked about so many things that would go back into and unpack some more. Like my examples of aging were not the best. I don't know how it was in your family, but a lot of my family members, they got to that retirement age or a certain age that they had chosen in their head. And they just decided, okay, I get to take a break from life, basically, is what they were telling themselves. And I don't have to do anything, whatever. And therefore, I could see them contracting and their health deteriorating. And just, it wasn't a good example. It wasn't something I would wanted to aspire to. So I've kind of like trying to go opposite that.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think the examples of that abound, and I think about my grandmother, and she had such health issues, really though, my whole life. And even she was cute. I would go help her plant flowers every spring. And I remember her telling me that she didn't feel old until she turned 70. And that
Oh,
was even with health problems,
wow.
which I thought was really cool. But I did watch her suffer
Mm,
physically, rheumatoid arthritis that was just like crippling to her
mm,
hands and
mm-hmm,
heart issues and all kinds of stuff, and to watch the physical deterioration, even if she had the spirit
mm-hmm,
to do other things, that was hard. That was hard to
mm-hmm.
watch.
Oh, yeah, for
And my
sure.
dad had dementia, so that was hard to watch. That was like a
Mm-hmm.
10-year thing of wow, that is rough, you
That
know.
is rough. So we
Yeah.
do have these examples that are in all of our lives, and we have to understand that we can make choices to do something different, go a different direction, think a different thought, have a different belief.
Yes. That's why I started the podcast is to start delving into that idea. And it's one of the best things. I've been doing my podcast for 6 years now. And I don't know
Wow.
about you, but I feel like I have now surrounded myself with all these examples of what's
Mm-hmm.
possible.
Yeah.
No guarantee, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And the other thing that's happened over 6 years of doing the podcast is that I'm this is going to sound weird. It's paradoxical, but I'm looking at, okay, well, there may be things that are out of my control that are going to happen to me physically or mentally. That could happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But how am I going to face that? Even if it does happen, I still have choice
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yes.
matter as to how I look at it and how I respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels really
Oh,
empowering
yes.
to me,
Yes.
you know? It's like, okay, it could all go in a handbag, right?
Right, right,
But
right.
but okay, I one thing I've learned about myself over the years is I'm resilient.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's all going to be okay anyway.
Mm. I love that. Thank you for that. And I just want to gently touch on ageism, internal ageism. I didn't realize I had that until a couple conversations ago. And I had another woman on my podcast, and it was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing that to myself until she brought it up and some examples. I'm like, oh, wow, that just really hit me hard.
What were the examples for you?
Oh, let's see. Just some self-talk. Just they were very innocent things.
They're
And
subtle,
they're
right? It's
subtle,
sneaky, isn't
yes.
it?
And I knew of ageism on the outside, which was really a new thing that I learned about like in the last year or two. I didn't really see it a lot in my life. But then when we had these conversations, I started realizing, oh, yeah, I guess that does happen outside in the world. And oh, I guess that is happening in my own brain. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but it was an awareness that I'm glad I had so that I can make those different choices.
Yeah.
Now
And
that,
I
like you
tell
said, it's
you, once you
empowering.
see it, you can't stop seeing it. I'm
Can't
really,
unsee
I'm
it.
really glad for you that you see it now because it actually gives us agency when we recognize the internalized ageism for what it is. We're very limited in how we can affect ageism out in the world,
Yes, yes.
but we have a lot of control over the internalized ageism as long as we're aware of it. And once I'm never going to not be ageist. I'm still ageist after
Mm-hmm.
all the years I've been doing the work I'm doing and looking at this. And and now I'm like, you know what? It's okay that I'm still
Mm,
ageist as long as I continue to notice and call myself out. If
right.
it's if it's limiting me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where is it limiting me? Oh, am I telling myself I can't do that because I feel like it's too
Yes,
late?
yes.
Oh, is it too late? The minute we start to get curious about it and ask questions, that's when we have agency and power.
I love that you've kept using that word curious multiple times. I think that is something that we feel we've grown out of once we leave childhood behind. And that curiosity, I love that you're bringing that back into the conversation multiple times because we can take that curiosity and get be playful. What lessons are here for me? How can I respond differently? Like we can do so much with that curiosity idea.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while now that I really do believe curiosity is a superpower,
Love that.
and it opens up possibility. Here's an example. I use it in so many ways these days. When I get anxious, and I do get anxious often. Sometimes sometimes I wake up anxious, right? I mean, I guess that's natural, right? Our cortisol levels spike in the morning to get us up. And so like that sometimes my first thoughts of the day are like existential crisis or oh my
Oh
gosh, what do
my
I have to do,
gosh.
right? And so I wake up sometimes anxious. So I'm not going to say I am not, but what I find works to help me calm that anxiety a lot of times is just to stop and go, oh, look, oh, isn't that interesting? The minute I
Mm-hmm.
say, isn't that interesting, it's like, oh, that I'm getting curious about it. And then I start to ask questions of myself about whether or not the thing that I'm anxious about is even a thing. If I'm worrying about something that is in the future, then that's just catastrophic daydreaming, is really all
Yes.
that is. And if I can recognize it for what it is by getting curious about it, okay, is that going to happen? Do you know that's going to happen? No, I don't know that's going to happen.
Because we make these stories up in our heads.
Yeah,
You know,
lots of
that
them.
that's always cracked me up that we are such storytellers, typically into the negative realm, like you said. Like, why do we immediately jump to the worst case scenario
Right.
instead of the best possibilities and outcomes?
Yeah. So leaning into play and curiosity, I think are like doorways, pathways into finding joy in any given moment, even in the hard
Hmm.
times. And I think where it's difficult at our age is that I think a lot of people have forgotten what even feels playful to them.
Mm,
And sometimes you might even be missing moments when you did feel playful. You
mm,
may not even be acknowledging that what you're doing is actually something you could enjoy if you just flipped the script a little
mm.
bit.
I love that. Yeah, and I was going to ask to you to jump more into that whole play instigator concept. I think this would dovetail right into that. So please share more on you being a play instigator, please.
Well, I bought myself some roller skates a few years ago and got back on my roller skates, and that has been a real joy bringer, I'll call it. I used to skate all the time. I would say
Mm,
between the ages of 10 and 13, I was on my skates any moment that I had to do it. And I always felt like I was flying when I was on my skates. I
mm,
felt free.
mm,
And I stopped. I think in my 20s I may have started rollerblading, but rollerblading felt like exercise. It didn't have the
mm,
same feeling. And so I did it I realized, gosh, I keep thinking about my roller skating days. Why am I not roller skating? Well, am I afraid? Is it because I'm afraid? Is it because, okay, so there's a couple ways I could be afraid of this. I could be afraid of looking stupid at
yeah.
my age on roller skates,
Yes.
right? I could be afraid of falling and breaking something because that's the first thing I get from people is, "Oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to break something?" And I did. I broke my elbow
Oh,
last
did you?
fall. Yeah.
Oh.
Even though I wear pads, and I fell just the right way, and there was like an impact shot up my arm
Mm,
and broke it. But here's the thing, I'm back on my skates this spring, and I've got the same feeling. I
mm,
feel great. It's worth the risk to me. And so that's play instigating. It's like
I love that.
leaning into, it may not be skating for you. It probably isn't. It probably isn't skating for most people. But there's something that you find playful that you probably keep yourself from doing that you may consider a guilty pleasure, right?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't have time to that for that, or that's frivolous, or that's selfish to allow
Yes.
myself the time to go do that thing. And I say, put it on your calendar, carve out some time, even if it's 5 minutes in your
Hmm.
day. If I'm
Yes.
sitting at my desk sometimes and I notice that my shoulders have gotten up to here and I'm crunching trying to get stuff done and the brow is furrowed, it's like,
Yes.
you know
Yes.
what? That's an indication that maybe it's time for a little break. Or if I start to get the sleepy thing going in the
Hmm.
afternoon, that's a different
Yep.
reaction to it.
Yep.
Okay, let me put on my favorite song that I can't help but dance to, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna have a little dance break. That's
Yes.
play. And that is something anybody can do. Like you can make a list of those things to do in your life that are free and fast, that
Hmm.
change your energy and give you a boost. And there's different styles of play that appeal to different people, but it's like finding your way into it is
Yes.
really important.
And it doesn't take long. Like you said, one song. Go jump around. I have a little mini trampoline.
Oh,
I do
nice.
that like a couple times a day, just for a couple of minutes, just to change things up, get my energy renewed, refreshed, and everybody can find something.
For me, moving my body, it sounds like for you too.
Yes.
Moving my body always makes me feel better. So I
Hmm.
got for Christmas this year, I got myself like a balancing strap thing. I have like a couple of balance toys. I call them toys.
Uh-huh.
I got myself a hula hoop because I used to
Oh,
love
love
hula
those.
hooping.
Yep. Yep.
So I hula hoop for maybe a minute. I'm not
Yes,
hula
me
hooping
too.
for
Me
forever.
too.
It's just like, okay, let's do a little hula hoop. Changes everything changes, you know?
And it impresses the grandkids. Like, how do you do that? Like, I can only do a weighted one. I can't do one that doesn't have weights on it.
It's good to have a
Yeah.
weighted one. I did get a weighted one. A former guest on the podcast gave me the one to get, and I was like, okay, I'm getting the hula hoop.
Yeah, it
So
is fun. So
yeah,
just these little pockets of fun. I love that. Everybody can weave them into their day a couple of times, even if it's
could be
once or twice.
doodling. It could be
Yes. Yeah.
doodling. It could be sending funny memes to your friend. You know, there's so many ways to play.
Yeah, you could be looking at funny dog videos on Instagram. That's what my grandkids do, or YouTube. There's a ton of those out there. But whatever makes you laugh. I've been on this comedian kick. When I'm doing a little workout, a little short workout, I'll turn on a comic on YouTube, and I just absolutely love it. It's just so fun.
That changes the
Just
workout,
yes,
right?
it does.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's cool.
gosh. It's so much fun. But yeah, laughing in play is a superpower, like all of those. And that's all self-care. I think we
Yes.
don't connect it to self-care, but it certainly is.
Yes. And self-care is not selfish because
Correct.
when you're doing this stuff for yourself, what you're doing is you're bringing your energy up. And when
Hmm.
you've got more energy, you've got more to give.
Oh, for
So
sure.
there's no downside to this.
You're right.
Absolutely
There is
none.
no downside. And then it's a ripple effect out to other people around you. Like you said, you change your energy, you're in a better space mentally and emotionally. So that's going to ripple out into anybody you come in contact with.
Yeah. Look for opportunities like even if you're at the grocery store and the cashier, some people
Hmm.
like to tell jokes. I'm not much of a joke teller, but my husband is. So he'll be the guy to throw a joke out in the middle of something. That's another way to play, you know.
That is true. And just being just a smile, smiling at
Mm-hmm.
other people is just a simple way of playing, I think. But I do want to come back to, you had talked about this before we hit the record button, your play shop. Can you give us a little bit more about that?
I can. It's very exciting. So I've been doing the play shop I've done the play shop a few times on Zoom and small group orientations where I take people through um, why play is important, what it does for us, that self-care factor. And then we start to talk about, well, what are your types of play? Like what is the
Mm,
type of play that resonates for you? And I try to help people put together their playlist. Not a
I
music
love that.
playlist, although that's good
Yes,
too, but a
that's
playlist
great.
of those things that you can access at any given time. Some of them you may want to put on a calendar, and some of them may be quick grabs. So, anyway, that's the play shop idea. And then I had some people who were like, well, I can't make it when you're doing it. Do you have a recording? So I was like, you know what? So now I've got a recording. So everything's coming out at the end of May, and I've got the next live play shop happening on June 6th. That I'm super excited about all of it.
So you do it in person and online. So
Yeah, there's a
anybody anywhere can.
self-guided version that people can kind of dip their toes. And then when they get the self-guided version, if they liked that and they want to do it with other people, they get a coupon to come join the live
I
version
love
as
that.
part of the whole thing. So they can do that at latebloomerliving.com/play to get on the wait list for now. And then very soon I'll be having everything open for all the things.
I love that. And we'll put a link to that in with this recording in the episode notes, the show notes. But I'm going to just kind of do a little self promotion. Every month, once a month, I have something called the Giggle Gathering.
I
and
love
it's
that.
and it's 30 minutes. It's online and it's very similar to what you're talking about. It's based on laughter yoga where we just throw out different crazy things to do, different exercises, and we laugh with purpose and with intention. Even if you start out not laughing for real and you just fake it, it immediately and so quickly turns into real laughter. And
A
I'm sure
hundred
you've
percent
found
of the
that. Yeah.
time. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I was just doing a photo session for a graduate from college yesterday, and she was a little shy in front of the camera. And after we'd gone through a lot, by the end of it, I was like, I'm going to ask you to do something, and I know you're not going to want to do it, but I'm going to ask you to do it anyway. And I'm going to do it too. We're going to fake laugh, and it's going to be
Yes.
really
Yeah.
big. And 100% of the time with photography clients, that turns into real laughter. They think it's the
Mm-hmm.
goofiest
Mm-hmm.
thing in the world.
Yep.
And then before you know it, and I do it in the morning sometimes as part of my morning routine. I'll do some fake laughing
Oh yeah.
and it
That's
turns into that. I love that. What's it called? The giggle
the
factor that you
giggle
do?
gathering.
The giggle gathering. I love it. And I remember when we did in Santa Fe, you were doing your workshop and would you have
Yes.
the laugh button that
The
was the belly
you
button?
we all have an emergency laughter button, and yes, that's your belly button.
I
So hey,
love it.
let's give ours a try right now.
You can't see, but I am literally
I
poking my
know.
belly button.
So it's like a muscle, and I'm sure you've discovered this as well. It's a muscle that we need to develop. Some of us have it more developed than others because we use it a lot, and other people grudgingly try to, step into their own laughter and exercise their own muscles. So some people will come to it very easily, and some people will come into it grudgingly.
Truth.
But it always ends up everybody's in a whole happier, more positive frame of mind when they're done. Even
Yeah.
if they're not participating, they're just observing. It's still so contagious.
Yeah.
That's what
Absolutely.
I,
Oh, I love that you do that.
well, I love that you do the play shop with your playlist because everybody, we had already spoke about some examples. Everybody can come up with something. And just
Yeah.
start with some hesitation if you need to. Start with a baby step, and then with the intention of growing it into a little bit more frequency or a little bit longer length of time. And use your emergency laughter button because we all have it available to us. And the best place I find to laugh on my own is in the car when I'm by myself. Nobody
Ah,
knows what's going on there.
right.
So you can laugh all you want in the car and nobody's going to be the wiser.
Yeah,
So,
they just think you're on a call or something, right?
exactly.
And yep,
Exactly.
that is awesome.
So I love that we both believe and fully advocate for this power of play and being curious and being childlike. And it seems almost like a soft, fluffy thing that would not be of any importance. But I think it is superpowers. We've already mentioned superpowers multiple times. And people who can't do it on their own can lean into what we have to offer and lean into our energy. So I really feel that, especially at this point in time, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world. And if you can't be playful for on your own, then somebody like Yvonne would be perfect to tap into. Somebody like, what I have out there in the world. So just find somebody that you can resonate with and you appreciate their energy and follow them, connect with them. See
Yeah,
what
do
like
more of
you
what you love.
do more
Just
of what
just
you
do
love.
more of what you
Exactly.
love, and
Simply, you're right. That's
that is going to go out. That's just going to spread out into the world. I mean, we do have a lot of heavy stuff happening in the world right now, and I know it seems frivolous. I know it seems fluffy, as you said,
yes,
but
yes.
it is not fluff. It
No,
it
it's
just
not.
isn't. It is the thing that can keep us going in hard times.
Oh, for sure. And I love, like I said, I've been tapping into comedians, and they are such powerful observers of the human behavior. And they can see the funny side of it and the irony of what we're doing. So I think people really, like I said, we need that. Whether, however you come to that, give yourself permission to find something you love, do more of what you love, laugh a little bit more, be a little bit more playful, go hang out with some little kids. Well, kids that you know.
It's actually one of the best parts of being at the skate park is every now and again a little girl will be there on skates and I've had one little girl come up to me and she's like, "You're the I've never seen an adult on skates before."
Oh,
And then we ended up hanging out and like
how
do trying tricks
fun.
together and doing stuff like that. So I made myself a little 9-year-old friend that
How
day.
fun. I love hanging out with kids, man. They are just a blast. But see, you're showing her that it's okay as an adult to skate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're leading by example for those younger generations coming up. I
Yeah.
truly believe that. So I want to thank you so much, Yvonne, for being here and for your delightful energy and what you're doing out there in the world. And I love that you suggested that we all just do more of what we love. So,
Thank you so much for having me here today
oh,
and
thank
sharing
you
everything
so
that you
much.
do.
I will include, as I said, everything about Yvonne in the show notes. Connect with her. You're definitely going to send me ways to connect with you, correct, Yvonne?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there a platform that you like to hang out on that they can immediately connect with you if they so choose?
Yeah. In fact, everything that any place you'd ever want to find me is on my website. It's latebloomerliving.com. I'm on Instagram a lot, and that's also Late Bloomer Living. So,
Okay, I love
yeah.
that. All right, my friend. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you so much to everybody who's listened in. If you feel that this is an episode that another woman would benefit from, please share this episode. And I have to bring in my little sign because I always forget to say this stuff. So share, subscribe, leave us a comment. Please let us know in the comments what is something that you love to do that you want to bring more of into your life. We would love to hear. All right, my friends. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. We will see everybody on the next episode. Yvonne, thank you. We will see everybody next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.